Hello everybody. Well, I was trying to get with it and tap to make a description of this chat, but it came up, I can't really type very well, so you nearly got a spiritual chalk instead of a spiritual talk. But anyway, don't let that put you off. Spiritual if you must. I was chatting to a dear friend and colleague, the most Reverend Alan Acton, earlier, and he was asking me when I might do a live chat. So I thought, yes, okay, I'll put all my worries about such things away from me, and I said, I might do a little bit of readings as well, with colour and so on. So hi to everybody who's watching. I'm actually wearing my reading glasses so I can see some of what you're writing and so on, because usually it's all just a blur. Speaking of which, I'm very interested in the impact that music has on our spirits. You know, we play some good music to lift our spirits, and we don't really go into that, why that should be, and also the implications for those of us who are with impaired hearing, some who have no hearing at all, and how does that actually resonate with us when it comes to spiritual impact. And interestingly, all those hundreds of years ago, when the musical scales were worked out by monks, in fact, because they wanted to be able to coordinate their singing and their music, and so they had to find a way of writing it down. And this was found out by using the first letters of an intercessory hymn, as they were called. Now, interestingly, all music has a frequency, of course, and those frequencies are actually measurable. And this is where science, if you like, steps in to support a religious belief. And particularly in spiritualism, we're very, very keen to prove that our religious belief is actually founded on knowledge and science, rather than just blind faith, if you will, although that's fine for those who accept that. And here on this piano that I'm always sitting near, I thought it would be just interesting to mention that the scale that we know of, the 8 notes of the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, also have a co-relationship in colour. So the musical frequencies also have a colour frequency. So those who are without hearing can actually, if you like, have an impact from the colour that they are able to see in terms of a musical score. For instance, C, middle C on the piano, is actually red. That's orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, purple, violet. And I thought to myself, I bet that in the grand scheme of things, that mediums like myself, I'm happy to call myself that, somebody who is the intermediary between heaven and earth, the spirit world and this world, the world of spirit and the world of matter, could actually give a reading when people choose a colour. So many people work in that way, and we've worked many times, all of us I'm sure, with coloured ribbons and various other things. But how about a reading based on musical notes? So I thought I would offer to make this experiment, for want of a better word, which I guarantee has results. Actually, not the ones that don't guarantee results, but this is one that guarantees a result. Okay, so as an experiment, I thought it would be nice to sort of choose an example of a couple of notes and tell you what they actually mean in the way of spiritual effect on the person who is suffering. Oh, Althea, good evening, Lynn. Of course, yes. Those of us who are walking on our heads down under, of course, it's evening time, and here, where we are walking on our feet, it is sort of like, where are we now? Oh, early afternoon, Althea. Bless you. Let's choose a couple of notes for somebody then. So let's go. Now they're the first three notes of Bless This House, and that's actually red, yellow and blue. I make that. No, red, yellow, yes, and blue, red, yellow and blue. So you could say that red and yellow and blue blend together in such a way that they have a really good beneficial impact on us. If you think about it, bless this house, bless our house, bless me too. All of that will go to this and make us feel better. And in fact, so we're looking at red, yellow and blue. Red, yellow and blue. And so although people may not be able to hear what we're doing, they can see that these colours must be spiritual goodness and bring them happiness. So if you're watching and you're feeling a bit down and you can hear those notes, then you can feel sustained by them. And if you can't hear and you can see these, that should make you feel better as well. So that's just my theory. And it would be interesting to know what other people think. Yeah, most people are silent or waving, so I'm not surprised. But it is somewhat of a radical approach, I suppose. But then you see red, yellow, orange, blue, and so on and so forth. And you know, of course, that the fun thing is that in America they decided that they would not have indigo because nobody could recognise the colour of indigo, which of course throws our scale out really badly. So one wonders if the Americans ought to be persuaded to reinstate indigo in their rainbow of colours, because they're missing out a very important letter in the octave, which is A. So maybe that is the cause of some of the disquiet and discord that's going on at the moment in America. Perhaps they ought to reinstate indigo in the grand scale of things, and they'd be feeling better. Yes, I'm glad you find that amusing, Carmen. I hate just laughing at my own jokes, especially when they're a bit obscure. But yeah, so I just thought I just wanted to sort of talk about that and say that this might be an interesting way. And of course, someone I admired greatly, Jill Harland, I called her the singing medium when I was editing Psychic News, because I thought that what she did was so marvellous. She used to stand on the platform, a spiritualist platform, and sing a song for somebody and get a message from a loved one who connected through that music to the loved one on this earth plane. And I always thought that was wonderful. And I don't see why all of us lesser mortals than Jill shouldn't actually employ similar means to actually attract that spiritual impact. You know, I mean, what did we do? Bless this house, for instance, those three notes. and I'm sure that resonates with quite a few people who are watching now, I would say, because those upstairs who try and guide my words when I'm speaking would give me that impression that a few people would have responded to those notes, also responded to those colours. And it's interesting, isn't it, that flag waving, for instance, has such an emotive effect and very often negative effect on other people. And those flags around the world are all of different colours, and the combination of colours seems to affect the way people view those flags, interestingly. And some parts of the world prefer the red, white and blue, others just red and white, some just blue and white, some red and green, of course, some red, green and white, you know. And it's very interesting when you think that all those colours actually relate to musical frequencies. And, you know, we talk about the music of the planets, the music of the universe, and this is really what... Oh, I made you smile today, Carmen. Oh, good. And you have to have a... Yes, that's true, Althea. So really, I just thought, with any luck, this little live video chat on my phone would hold out sufficiently well for me to be able to have a little chat with you. I'm always nervous of these newfangled machines, and they seem to stop on me quite often, leave me sort of hanging in full flow, as it were. And of course the dogs have been extremely quiet while I've been talking to you, but they are getting a bit frisky now, so that's another thing. I shall probably have to put them out, which is what we do to little doggies who get naughty. But you know, I'd like to say to you that if you're looking at C, it releases negativity. D is said to assist change and freedom. And also E, the magic E, it relates to miracles and healing, and it's said to restore basic life strength. So I shall just play an E for all of you. Now that is the chord of E, and that is supposed to help you renew yourself and get a bit of strength. So, oh, Althea Horney, sorry for my poor puppies. Oh, yes, really. They are the most spoiled, and they've also got Poppy and Candy playing with them today as well, while their companion is out at her granddaughter's birthday. So that's why they're all here enjoying themselves. But yes, so I hope very much that this gave you some little thing to think about. And also, I should mention that there is a New Christian Spiritualist Society Little Blue Hymn Book on Amazon, which is only £4.29, and it has lots of hymns in it, 78 pages of them, which also includes some articles by me on this very subject of music and frequency and healing and the spiritual effects of music in a scientific way, which also crosses over to our religious belief system. So there we are. We have Catholic monks to thank for our coordinated notation that we have, and I'll leave you with the actual original intercessory hymn as a little prayer for all of us, which is in the Latin. It was ut quae ant laxis resonari fibris mira gestorum famili tuorum solve pollute labii reatum sancte Ioannis. And that means so that we, your servants, may freely resonate within the very fibre of our being and voice the acts that you do. Cleanse the badness from our sullied lips, St. John. There. So, I hope that you found that interesting, and I really like talking to you. And of course, unfortunately for you, you You can't shout back at me or talk back to me in some way. But on the other hand, if you don't like it, I suppose one can always tone me off. And for my friends, it's been just a pleasure. And Althea, good night. 10:15 p.m. here. Oh, it's 2:15 here in the afternoon. So I wish you all very, very well indeed. And I pray for all my friends on Facebook that they may have freedom from their pain and suffering, some respite from any problems that they have in their lives. We all have problems. All of us suffer in some way. That's just the way of life. And I hope that you get good relief from all of that, and have a good rest of the Sunday that is left to all of us. God bless you all. And there we are. And bless us all. Bless us all.